Welcome back to Supreme Ruler Ultimate China. I had indeed played 5 hours, a little over 5 hours when I stopped the recording. I'm going to start off right where we left off. I'm going to move it to fast speed. And it looks like there's a South Korean unit right here. I had wanted to come across and get all this, but of course I couldn't. And in fact, we're going to get rid of this and this. No longer want those or need them. All right, let's see about South Korea. Oh, I just saw a mail pop up here. Did they just send us a mail? No. No, they didn't. Russia, we're at peace with, and I don't remember if they're at war with. They're still at war with Russia. But we're now at peace with Russia, right? Yeah. All right, again, pressing tab, and that's taking me to where the combat's occurring, which is right here. And I should have these flankers right here that I think I'm going to send in. They should be able to take that out. And then, again, don't be pressing ASD, WASD, Joe. All right, let's move the flankers here, because this is an air base. It can hold 14 very easily. And somebody needs, let's send this all in for repair. Because you can see at least one of them needs repair. What else is there? The Badgers are there. Again, pressing tab, and I see what we got going on here. So they're coming from this air base up here, which I'd like to capture that. The problem is there's no road to it, so you have to go across country. This is 5. We'll move you up here. I would like to capture that because that prevents them from creating naval vessels right here. Well, now where are we at? All right, so there's a ship here we cannot see. So we're going to send the Badgers over to find it and take it out. There it is. All right, wait, that took care of that. Go back to the base. All right, this is a seaport. And this is a seaport. Means you can have repairs there. All right, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go up here and capture these while we're holding the line down here in the south. Which also means I don't need this down here anymore. So we'll bring it up also. All right, where's that combat occurring? Right here. Let's see what we got over here now. I realized I looked at this just a moment ago, and then I didn't do anything with it. So we've got consumer goods, rubber, consumer goods, consumer goods, goods, consumer goods, 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 goods. All right, I will say yes to all of that. And let's take a gander. Looks like, I always pronounce that Sao Tome. I don't really know how I've never bothered to look, I think, and Malawi. And also, I say Malawi. It could be Malawi. I don't know. I think I've heard British people say Malawi, but I've always said Malawi. And then Syria is gone. All right, we've got some of these mortars completed, and they should automatically take up again. They are. We're still going. How many mortars does that give us? Because I don't really want any more if they're going to stick. All right, now they're up to... These are the ones we're building. They're at 21. How did it go from 21? It was at 15, if you will recall. You can't look at the tech card because that's only going to show 15, and that does not show the technology increases. So you have to look, just hover over one. Okay, it's up to 21. That's still only the one hex over. Each hex is 16. So let's look at what we're producing. I don't want to produce any more of these mortars because they're too... The range sucks. It was the best I could do at the time when I started that, but now I think we can do better. So let's look at what... This Tomcat is 42. This fast-firing mortar here is 34. That's 2 hexes. 2 hexes would be 32. So this can get into a third hex. This is 200, but it's slow or low firing. The reaction time is low, which we don't want. Tomcat is low. I'm going to switch over to these. Although, let me look at what's in. I don't remember what we were researching. All right, we're not researching any unit. We're just researching overall text right now. So let's go ahead and switch over to these guys. And we want them to deploy automatically. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are... Badgers are still, let's see if that's still the best thing we can do. Yeah, no tactical bombers whatsoever. So Badger is the Badger G. And the ships should be, all right, we've got this. We can now build from this. It's online, so we can put something in here. I don't want to put another submarine. Let's put a escort ship. This has got 480 and 100. We're gonna throw this bad boy in there. And then we'll make sure it takes 7, 7, and 18. All right, those 4 took. We'll see, I think, anyway. They are not taking for some reason. Why are they not taking? Let's try that again. You are 6. You are 6. Russia declared war on Burma. Okay. Let's come down here. Let's send you to repair. You'll go right here. And in the meantime, let's make sure that when you come out, when you rally, you come right back down here. All right, go ahead in and take this, and you go ahead and push down here and here. Now I need you to withdraw and then go repair. We just killed a helicopter. That's what that sound was. All right, you move in, and then you come down here. There we go. Let's make sure this barracks is being repaired. And put in some garrison. Now let's go ahead, and this is 6. Let's go ahead and pull these. Come down here. Go ahead and make them 7. We'll get rid of this. We don't need it. Let's see where this is. That's up here. That's fine. Can you move up? Yeah, you move all the way up there. Laser guided munitions. Very good. Now I want you to go back and repair. All right, so we got another open slot. And my original plan for this was to break it up, edit out the majority of it. But the problem is there's always something going on. And I would be just editing out, 10 seconds here, 12 seconds there, 30 seconds here. But there's always something going on. At least this right now early. This is all consumer goods, so we will accept that. So I'm just going to present it raw as is for now. All right, it looks like South Korea is sabotaging us. Our coal mine facility, which is where? Right here. And that's fine. We've got plenty of coal. All right, you go and repair. And now we need 3 here. And where is... There's the Badgers. Now, if I'm not mistaken... Wasn't there an airfield around here somewhere? Let me click on airfield. Right there. Okay, Badgers, come down here. And then come take this out. No, this is air-to-air. This is a Hercules. That's an American air-to-air unit. But they took it out right away. So their priority was on the AA unit, which is the way it should have been.
We need reinforcements.
No, we don't. We're good. That's where it's going to tell us we need them right there. But we're good. We don't need them. All right, 7, 7, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. All right, so this is just a couple of spares. I want you to come down here. And we're going to move you all the way down to there and you all the way down to here. Now, I could push some naval assets up here, but I don't want to risk it yet. Because I do want to break this up. We don't want Russia to come through here and take this territory. Let me see if I can pull a... yeah, I'll take you. I'll try to get you through here. Let's see if we can get you around in between Japan and Korea here. $10.7. That's a bridging unit. Kind of stupid to have it there. There's nothing to bridge. Consumer, 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 consumer. Yep, we're going to allow that. Now, there is a mechanic. Oh, we got some new Badgers. Also, where's this combat taking place? Right here. Again, pressing tab takes you to the last combat that you encountered. It doesn't always, because it depends on where, you know, the last sound that had come through, because it could be an allied combat, for example. But I don't think China's allied with anybody. No, they're not. We're not allied with anyone, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, you've got through here, so we want you to actually hug the coast of Japan for a little bit, because I'm not sure where this ship was heading to that I saw heading out here. So let's keep going in this direction. What I'm going to try to do is go up here. I need to get it. You know what? I do. We just had some Badgers come out. So let's see about getting 7 more. That gives me 14, which is 2 stacks of 7. This right here, I don't even want to build any because this is a prop job. I did not realize that when I put it in for research, because it's a higher tier than higher technology than anything I have. Excuse me, but it's not the best unit. And flanker's still the best thing we can make. So we're going to make these strategic bombers 4 more or 7 more. I don't want them to auto-deploy. Okay, that looks good. We'll make sure that took. I think that's far enough. Can you come up to here? Okay, there's somebody. No, it's our supply, or the Korean supply pushing through here, which we don't want. Look at that. They're firing missiles. It's going to go out. It can't defend against these missiles. You can't press WASD in this game. I'm trying to shoot down the missiles. Let's see if we can take out the ships. All right, we got to go back. I don't know if he can make it now. We got to repair. Let's bring the Badgers out and see what's over here. Is there anything here that we can see? Because there may be submarines here. One hit from a submarine would take him out. Can you come back down here, Badgers? Go take that out. We can see it, so let's go take that out. All right, now let's head back. All right, we made it. Now I need you guys to run down here, and let's block off the Russians. All right, now I need to draw their attention back down here again. The Badgers, let's set them in for repair. It doesn't look like they need repair, but let's put them in just in case. Is there anybody else I can pull? No. I can pull all of you guys. Yeah, let's move you down here. And you right there. Goods. Now, what I was going to say earlier is there is a method. For example, I'm looking at these, and I can see that the Serb Republic is on very good terms with us, and they're offering more money. They're giving us 449 million and only asking for 389. So instead of me having to click on this every time, I can go to the nation, click on these guys, click on State Department, and go down here to Influence Relations. And one of the things that I can do is auto-accept future and balanced or better commodity and money offers. So if I click this on, anytime they send me an offer like this where they're paying more or at least balanced, it will automatically accept and I no longer have to do it. It's just one less click I have to do. So I will look at the same thing. They're sending us more money. That is the same. That's Serb Republic. They are sending us less money and they're sending us more. So let's go to Somalia. And as long as they send us more or equal, we will accept. So let's, apparently I pressed W. Well, earlier I did. And let's do the same thing. We're going to click on there. Then we'll go ahead and accept this one. And in the future, this is definitely, they're giving us 528. Then you're asking for 373. So we're going to do the same thing with Madagascar. In the future, just automatically accept that. And then I won't have to click on it. We'll go ahead and do it with Rwanda also because they are giving us more than it's worth. And then I'll just manually accept this because they're not giving us more than it's worth. And they're doing that because we're so friendly. They think that we'll give them a deal since we're so friendly. Now, if you'll watch, you'll see these come through now, and they're automatically accepted, and I won't have to mess with them anymore. The ones that I just clicked over. All right, let's see if we can make another group right here. We're going to try to get the South Koreans to pay a little attention to what's going over here while we do this, what we want to do over here. Let's go all the way up in there. Let's send out the Badgers again to look. Okay, looks like there's nothing here. Now, there could be subs. We won't know that until this guy goes kaboom. But I do want to try to clear this. Oh, let's see where this is at. Right here. Okay, well, they're tearing him up pretty good. That is a F-16, but it's a C model. Oh, he just hit something. Now, I want you to come back over here a little ways. And then move up here. We got to get back to this pier because this is where we can repair and rearm properly. There's no supply to speak of here yet, but once we clear this area out, there we go. Now, go straight in here and go ahead and recover. All right, so now we can send you back home. There's a helicopter. Badgers couldn't do anything with that. But the flankers can. All right, high-speed rail. That increases our infrastructure, which means supply moves more freely, more easily across our territory. And we've got two. I guess I missed one. I don't know what the other one was, or I didn't add something back in there. We're going to go to warfare again. Although, let me look and see if there's any better. There's still no tactical bombers, and there's no strategic bombers. Actually, there's nothing except patrols and transport. What about any better infantry now? Our current best infantry that I can make is a ZB-09, which is 24, 21, 20, and 27. This is better, but it's not available yet until we do advanced military designs. This is not any better. Although it is 45. This is 40 in stealth, or less visibility. And this does 25 combat time. This is 25 and 45, so it's harder to see. It's got more stealthiness. Stealth is the wrong word. It can be concealed better out in the field. But that being said, you can see it's only 20, 22, 21, and 20. So 20, 22, 21, and 20 versus 24, 21, 20, and 27. And this takes 540 personnel. This takes 702. In many cases, I don't like having large. So I'm going to stick with the ZB for now. So we'll get rid of this. I will upgrade elite forces, but I don't want the conscripts. And let me look at these elite forces. They're not amphibious. Actually, I think we're good for now. It's going to be quite a while before I'm going to start worrying about that. Let's look at artillery. So we've got this mortar that goes only to 18. It's fast firing, but it only goes 18. Let's look at air defense. All right, eventually we're going to want these S-500s, but we've got a lot of research to do before that. This is 180, and these pontoon bridges. Really, pontoon bridges are not used for combat. So for me, I just look at their speed and their range. This one was 190 range at 35. And this one's 400 at 50. So we're definitely going to, even though this is from 1925 and this is from 1997, this just moves quicker and faster. And they should never be engaged in combat if you use them. I very seldom use them because the infantry I'm using are amphibious. This mechanized infantry, see, it's amphibious here. So you can cross rivers. And the pontoons are for crossing rivers and things of that nature. All right, well, let's look at, that gives me still one more to put in here. And I could go for this because that's going to give us some good stuff in the future. The problem is, how long does it take? 285 days. Yeah, this is a dead end after that. But it does give us some good, what's the word I'm looking for? Recon vehicles. And access to this radar station, which you want to put on your coastline, for example, if you have a coastline. I really could put anywhere. But the radar will see ships and airplanes. This leads to tanks, which I don't care about. I don't really use tanks, but it leads to chameleon armor. And chameleon armor then leads to some good stuff, including the upgraded defense capability, which is new infantry units, mechanized infantry. But it's still a long way off yet. Now, we could go to super carriers, but the Kitty Hawk was the U.S. carrier. The Clement, I don't know how to spell that because it's French. In my opinion, that's a French aircraft carrier. And this is also the same thing. Not sure why China can build it. Now, this right here, by the way, you can click on this. What this is telling you is that the United States can build, if the United States researches this, they can build that. If France researches this, they can build that supercarriers. And if you click this, it will only show you designs that apply to China because I'm playing China. This right here is worldwide designs. Click it and related designs to our region only, which is China. So it doesn't do anything for China. Now, if I click on nuclear supercarriers, eventually we can get this carrier, the Beijing. But that's after a lot of that research. Let's look at transportation. I am eventually going to want this because it leads to tilt engine pods, which will take us to this aircraft, which moves faster than the Halo, is what I got now. And then eventually, I don't really use these. These are combat aircraft, and I don't use them for helos. Fixed wing is not really or rotary wing is not really my thing when it comes to combat. But I do like the, for example, the in the U.S. it's called the something, I can't remember. The Stork. The Stork is basically a V-22 Osprey, but the next variant of it. And that's really good for moving special forces around. So what I'm saying is I don't know what I'm going to throw in there. Let me look at these again. Stem cell research is good. And it helps with population. But as China, we have a huge population. I'm just going to throw this in there. It'll take a long time, 240 days, but it is an era upgrade, and it makes our research finish faster. And these guys are still 310 days away from completing. Okay, now let's go back up here. This guy is still being repaired, but we've finally got this chopped off so that I don't have to worry about the Koreans taking out that. Now, I want to move... I'm going to move these two Romeos through here. We'll have them go here first. And I think I'm going to have these guys come over here. And then you guys gather right there. And I want you to come in here. And then you come down here. We'll take this Korean town right here because it has an airfield, and that'll help push supply. Now, the thing to remember, if you're new to the game, is anytime you can engage in combat where there are infantry units, for example, the garrison here, you want to do that because the garrison will pop out, and notice that the only people being affected is the garrison. The garrison are the guys being targeted by the Koreans so that my mechanized infantry are not being targeted at all. And since this entire town is firing on this garrison, these guys can move in here and fire, and they will never be hit. Just little things that you may not be aware of if you're just new to the game, for example. We're going to have you push in here and take that airfield. We will garrison the town and put the airfield on repairs. Now, I need a surface unit because subsurface units cannot capture territory. So I need to find a... Oh, we don't want... What do you guys got in you? We go there and unload. Do I have any... Let me look and see if I have any surface... Yeah, we got these PATs, these patrol aircraft, or patrol boats. Although I'd rather have this. Let me bring these two escorts out and this third one. And we're going to come down here and try to push supply. And we're going to follow, we're going to send the subs in first, in case there's any Korean subs there. This guy is still only about 60% repaired. So we'll let him go as we slowly box in Korea here after they declared war on us. Now I've got these forces up here now, so I want to slowly start pushing in on this airfield up north. There was a helicopter sitting right there. All right, multi-purpose AT munitions, that's good. That increases our ground attack by a certain percentage. I think it's 2%. We're going to go back with... Probably... Again, trying to think to the future here. Probably fuel cell. Yeah, because that'll really come in handy in the future. So let's go to fuel cell technology. And I think I'm going to bring the flankers back up here. See if we can do some damage right here on these guys. Because they're doing damage on us. Let's see. Nope, they went in for repairs. All right, so come back. Now, we're not going to have supply here for a bit, so we've got to wait for, hopefully, for it to push up. And in the meantime, I'm going to come up here and try to open this avenue up so supply can flow better. And if I can find some more... Let me get them over here. No, I better come all the way down here. Looking for little white dots is what I'm looking for. What was this that just completed? That is uranium. What are you guys? Your mortar. $150. for this air defense. So let's take you guys, add highlighted types, which is these guys, and let's move them, for now, let's move them up here, right there. Now I need to find, that's the combat engineers. Let's look at this. All right, so we've got 2 more that are out. That was the PMUs that just completed, which is the air-to-air or anti-air units. I think I will build some more of these. Only 4 more. Everything else looks good. So we've got Saudi Arabia and Paraguay. Rubber and consumer goods we will accept. All right, we started off around 229, I think. We're up to 443 and still improving and building. So our economy is doing great. We got up to 13 unemployment at one time. Now we're down to 10.7. We just need these guys to come up. Now the thing about this is considered a military. These research facilities are considered military. So they will not use civilians. That will come from the military active personnel. So that's not going to make any difference there at Moldova. We will accept that. And Vietnam's declared war on Burma. I'm sorry. If you're from Myanmar, I'm sorry. I just grew up. It's Burma my whole life up until, 10 years ago or whenever it was it changed. Every book I've got about World War II talks about the China, Burma, the Flying Tigers. If you know anything about World War II and the prelude to World War II, the Flying Tigers were stationed in Burma originally. Anyway, it's a whole nother issue. I won't talk about that. But I'm sorry if you're from Myanmar and I keep saying Burma. I'm old and I'm set in my ways. I'll try to say it properly. Be like asking me to call Japan, Timbuktu or something. It's weird. All right, again, that garrison took the brunt of that attack that they just came through with. We're just going to wait till these guys get up here a little bit. And also we're waiting on supply to push up here. Press tab, take me right back here, and I can see what the combat was. I may want to push in and take this because this is a space facility. And it really doesn't affect anything in the game, but it's nice to have one. I'm sure China's got one out here in the desert somewhere. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but they do have one in the desert somewhere. Right here. That's their space facility. They may have others. Well, it's easy to tell because you just click on any unit. In this case, we're going to click on this mission control and then hold shift and press the right bracket button. All right, they've got another one there, another one there. So they've got 3. This one, which I don't want. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't want these here. So let's get rid of that. And I can hear this ship bombarding us. So let's bring the Badgers out to take care of this. There we go. Badger, badger, badger. That was some kind of I think that was a meme before there were memes. What was it? Badger, 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 badger. I can't remember what the rest of that was. I'm pretty sure that was in the 90s. Maybe I'm incorrect. I don't know. It was something like badger, 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 tomato. I forget. It was very popular at one time. All right, now that we've pushed all this up, we can come back with you guys. In fact, I want you guys to run up here to right there. All right, there's a submarine firing at something. Oh, their sub is killing my sub. I let him sit there too long, and that's a terrible sub. So he took out one of my subs, so we're going to run over here quickly as we can. We don't want to stay in this area. They know we're here. Upgrade infantry. All right, that helps our ground combat. I think I'm going to go with this. We'll go with this. Facility defense. Oh, looks like this guy has repaired. So I'll wait till the sub gets here. I'll repair the sub. And then we'll send both of them down here to kind of push this, capture this sea territory here. And I think, yeah, I think I'm just going to put these mortars in reserve. Let's see if there's any more down here. Yeah, we're going to put all these mortars in reserve. They're no longer the best mortar I can make. All right, so we got some more ground units out. And I don't want to view those. I want types in view. We just want to take them from here. Yeah, these guys are in combat, so we don't want them. We'll take all of these. And this gives us 12 more. So we'll come over here to right there. I hope this sub can make it, and then I'll have him repair here in Vladivostok, which is, I think in real life is the, well, as it was here, but in reality it's the, I think it's the eastern headquarters of the Russian Navy. That's what I believe anyway. All right, let's go repair. Although you're not damaged at all. No, you're not. Okay, so just come down here. You're not a good submarine, but we're going to use you. All right, somebody just incurred in our territory. That's what that beep, beep, beep means. Let's take this from Moldova first. And what military... Our latest supply, what was that? Ah, okay, very good. So we're getting some more uranium up here. And then let's find out. This bond was renewed. Territory incursion by the Soviets, or by Russia, and it was right here. All right, and they're shooting at him. No, I don't want to declare war. All right, I think we can pull this guy back to repair now, and he'll come right down here. And then we will replace him with one of these we just pulled up. These guys all at 100. Yeah. So we're gonna head in. See what's going on down here first. We'll push in just to get their attention down here. And then we'll come up here. Take you 7 units and bring you up. All right, let's push in a little further. I really want to get these air units up there higher, but the problem is you don't have supply up here. Well, we took out that one. Now, we got close enough that the aircraft got scared and they just ran. So that's what happened. They ran through our territory and they got hammered. So we shouldn't have much aircraft here to worry with. All right, you're at 86. Let's wait and see. 87. We got to see if we can get a little bit more supply in you before I push the rest of the way. All right, now we're going to have... We need to bring the Badgers down here because we can't let these guys just hammer us. We saw how that ends. All right, now you can go back. And resupply. You're back up to 100. Do it again. All right, did you see what happened? This guy just launched a missile at this DDG. And he hit it. He damaged it. But he's here, and I want to go ahead and push through here because we only got to do this once. Let's bring... I think we'll bring the flankers back now that I know that those aircraft up north have left. All right, go ahead and bring that sub all the way down and bring you over here. All right, where's submarine? That's submarine combat. What you're hearing right now is submarine combat. But I'm not going to anything when I press tab, so it may not have, I don't know where that was at. Was it here? No, that's previously. That's that sub we lost previously. I don't know where that submarine combat is occurring. All right, let me see what this was. All right, they want to sell us military goods. I don't think we need military goods. We don't, but he just wants to get in better with us, and he's offering us... I'm going to do Argentina. I'm going to do it anyway. He's offering us them for more money than it's worth, but that's okay. That's okay. I will do it anyway. All right, let's come down here. And then let's get these Badgers on this again, because we're not going to let them sit there and just hammer us. All right, go back and reload. All right, there's the sub that was shooting at me. Come back. He took him out. This sub is much better than my subs. Nothing I can do about that. The fact that he survived that just is astonishing to me, because there's no way he should have survived that. What happened was this sub that come up from behind was shooting my guy earlier, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. He probably shot half his load, meaning he only had 50% supply left. So when he got here, remember, he's in my supply chain, so he cannot get reloads. So he shot about 4 times or so, and he didn't have any more torpedoes left, so he had to flee to get back into his supply chain so that he could reload his torpedoes. That's my guess as to what happened there. We lost that, so we can't push anymore. We'll just have to wait. We do have something building in here, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we do. And he's only got 114 days left, so I don't have to worry about trying to run this gauntlet here. If I had decent submarines, I would push through, but I don't. Because this right here is a huge naval base. And trying to push through here with the crap that I have, you can see what happened. All right, again, we need the Badgers to come do their thing. And also come over here and take care of that airborne troop. Hurry, fill back up to 100. Reload. Refuel. Do it again. And then we'll take this guy out. They're very good, very good. I'm an air power guy. I was in the Air Force after all, so for me it's all about air power. Well, it's not all about it, but air power is such a force multiplier. It's just too good not to use. All right, let's go ahead and... Is this... Hold on, let me get rid of that. No, you can go up here, and then you can go straight into there, and then you can go straight into there, all right? I wasn't sure if that was a waterway or not. But we're going to take this large airfield right here, and that'll push, as well as this seaport, and that'll help push supply. All right, you go ahead and come up, and then come across. And it also will stop the Russians from gaining this stuff back, which we don't want them to do. I'm going to wait here just for a bit while supply builds back. There's none of this I want to stay here, so we're going to get rid of all of it. I do want the airfield to stay, the center hub, the military complex. I don't want the aircraft production to stay, because I don't build on the outskirts. I always build in the interior. That way we don't have issues. However, I will leave the missiles, because I don't particularly care if I lose them. All right, let's let... All right, you're at 890. You're getting back up there. We want you to be at 100 before we go again. And you're at 70, slowly but surely. And you're free to come over here. All right, Badgers, we need you again. There we go. And Moldova again, consumer goods, we will take it. That was a mistake by that F-16C. You can see here that the C is a bomber. So he's not the best air-to-air combat. He's only 19 and 20, but when it comes to bombing, the C is a very good bomber. They can bomb from 2 hexes away. And in fact, when you start as the USA in 2020, or right in that time frame, that your majority of the bombers that you have, the tactical bombers are F-16Cs. They dominate. All right, Trinidad. You want us to sell you coal? I got plenty of coal. I'll sell you coal all day long. All right, I think these guys are recovered. They're up to 100, so let's press in and take this. And you guys are at 100, so let's go here. And I didn't expect you to go that way, I will be honest with you. That caught me by surprise. So move up here then. I don't know why you just didn't walk straight into there like that. You can wait now. You lost your opportunity to be the liberators. And we're going to get rid of this. We don't need these. This is rubber. Not that. This. Yeah, rubber, synthetic rubber. We don't want it. We'll get rid of all of it. We do want this, though. Did that say? Yeah, that's seaport. I thought that said pier for a moment. Okay, so we'll give all of that, and then we'll make sure it has garrison. And then you come up here just in case they've got something they can sneak in from this side. And I think I'm going to have you run here and capture this as a further block to the Soviets when the time comes. This right here is going to be great for regional dominance in this area right here. What are we doing? We're still trying, huh? You can't get through here. You need to stop trying. All right, so it looks like we've got all of this locked up. I don't really care about all this territory. It's Russian anyway. We're not at war with Russia. But if I can get what I can get, I will take it. So I'm going to push forward over here to this, and then I'll get rid of it because I don't want it there. Surprisingly, there is not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a barracks here because there's not one there, and that surprises me. So let's get one started right there. And then we can get some repairs going. In the meantime, these guys that need repair, we want them to stand on the airbase because the airbase produces a lot of supply, and they will recover faster when they're in full supply, which makes sense. You know, they can get spare parts and so forth and so on. And we've got someone here that needs to sit on the airfield also. What just came through? Moldova, Paraguay, and Saudi Arabia again. All right, Badgers, come and do your thing. And go back and rearm and refuel. Then we'll come back and take this guy out. Go ahead and do that. All right, very good. Air power, baby. All right, you can see here this is a 56% supply, and you can actually see the supply filling in here. Between that and this pier, seaport, it will really fill in quickly. All right, looks like you made it down here. Let's go ahead and run to here. And I want you two guys to come here, and you one there. And then I will take you two and you two. So that we got 2 stacks of 7 there. All right, we got this guy's... Yep, this naval production is ready. So let's throw in... I've only got 10 of these subs. I am going to throw 2 more subs up here because we're going to want to... They can only go to here depending on how far we push because we can't go into Soviet territory. So they're going to be landlocked, if you will. In other words, they can only go through the territory we control, but that's why I'm going to come over here and take this out. All right, you go ahead and go get this. And you come down here and push here. And you push up there. Let's see if we can get all of this so at least they can go the entire river here as needed. Let's get rid of that. We no longer need that. That's where the synthetic rubber was. All right, that's done. Now, you're still in 100%, so come over here. And you come over and join them to make a full stack. And then you come over here. Supply does travel along rails and roads much better than just across raw territory. I think it's safe to say that we can... I really want to build an airfield right here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I want that to be an airfield. I'm sorry, an air base. And then once the air base is done, we'll get rid of the airfield. All right, we've got some more infantry, mechanized infantry. $214 days left on the research centers. Let's get out of that. Maybe this will be far enough. Yeah, that'll be fine because I'm just going to have them all come here anyway. Even though it had a couple of these selected, it's fine. There's one from way back here. All right, these guys... 46, 46, 46. You came out of there, I would imagine. So let's go ahead and reserve into there. Because you're not doing anything out here. All right, how's our uranium look now? All right, again, we have plenty of uranium for the moment. But as I start building more advanced and modern ships, we're going to start using a lot more uranium. Because they're all nuclear powered. Thailand declared war on Myanmar. I said I would stop calling it Burma. All right, buddy, you got a long way to travel. All right, you see Russia pushing in here? We don't want that. Let's go ahead and take this town because we want it. We don't want Russia to get it. This is going to be a blockade on this highway here. This is a major east-west highway, and we want to hold it. All right, let's get rid of that. I do not want that petrol power plant. Now, come over here and get as much of this as we can before the Russians get it. Come on over here. Go, go, go. See how slowly it moves across this rough terrain as opposed to the roads and the rails? All right, you can come down here also. All right, we've got it locked up. Unless Russia declares war on us, they can't come any further. All right, he's running out of supply, though. We let him sit on that city till he gets 100%. And then we'll do it this way. We'll just take a couple. We're going to leave this guy sitting there to recover because he needs it. And that's a good source of supply right there. We'll try to get you back up here. You come down here. Go ahead and knock this out so they don't have any visibility either. Okay, that's good. Now you can go back. All right, they are offering us... Wow. They're offering us 51 million and they want 155 million. I'm going to have to say no to that because that's 3 times. This is a little closer, 424 to 463. I will accept that. I'm not going to give them 3 times the product they're offering us money for, though. All right, you guys come up here quickly if we can. You're closer. Just go ahead and, well, he'll be all right. So on the railroad tracks, they move fast. Although I don't want to get in there. Oh, I do want to go up there. You come back here. I don't want to be caught in there. But if we can push just to here, I'll be fine with that. All right, this guy we did get. So I don't want any of this stuff here. I will leave the center hub just for supply purposes right now. All right, that's a submarine attacking something. I can't even see what's attacking me. That's how bad my visibility is. I'm telling you, when I say this is a bad sub, I'm not making it up. Let's see if we can get a flanker over here. Sometimes, yeah, there he is right there, see? So I need this guy to go back and repair. There's nothing else I can do about it. All right, so I cannot attack that submarine with aircraft. So what we're going to do, now that we've gotten our northern flank secured, in my opinion, this is secured. We can't push any further because this is Russian territory. We're not at war with Russia. We're just going to let this play out right there without me doing anything. You really need to get back here, though. You need the supply. All right, now we can start bringing forces back. You're almost, in fact, you are. You're totally sitting on that air base. You was able to totally recover without going into, and the air base is done. Everything there is done. The barracks is what I just built. So you didn't need to use the barracks. Let's have you run back here. If they've got 3780, they're completely... All right, so this is the Russians attacking that South Korean industrial complex, which is fine with me. We'll go ahead and bring you guys down here also, as well as you guys. All right, now they're contained. That's why I was able to do everything I needed to do up here. Let's take a look at this. We're making our most money by selling consumer goods, which I knew would be the case. Timber's still something we're paying for, but that's okay. What is this? This is, I remember you guys. This is another mechanized infantry unit. So let's come over here and take the rest of these and move them over here also, because we're going to push into South Korea properly. I think originally I didn't intend on taking South Korea, but the opportunity has presented itself, and I'd be remiss if I didn't take advantage of that situation. All right, so we've got two more that just got built, which was the last two of the transport ships that I wanted, which brings me up to 7. Yep, there's 7 of those for now. This is a much newer ship, but it's smaller. I don't like it. It's smaller. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of it. And I'm going to throw, even though these submarines are not very good, I'm going to throw 2 more of them in there, because right now we've got to secure our coastline, because there's no telling when the Japanese or the Taiwanese or the Philippines will declare war on us. So we've got to be able to secure our coastline, because we're going to take out South Korea, hopefully. Once I get all my... I could probably do it right now, but I like to err on the side of caution. As I said, I like to lose as few units as possible instead of just throwing everything in haywire. That's also, if you'll notice, that's also why I manually control everything. I don't let the AI control my units, not even in the slightest, because I want to be the one doing it. All right, that sub's coming out. That Romeo, that bad submarine. Let's see if that South Korean sub is still in the area. We'll fly these flankers around here, see if he sees anything. Sometimes you can see, sometimes you cannot. Depends on the sub. Of course, subs are stealthy. If they're not moving, you can't see them. I saw him because he was shooting, so we could see where he was at. All right, I think we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and take that out now. We no longer need it. Speaking of subs, he's still there. All right, go back into repair. That's all I can do, because I can't fight him. This submarine is too bad. The Shangs are the best I can build. And they're not real good, but they're the best I can build. And I don't even know where they're at. Right there. There's a stack of 6 of them. All right, let's come down here to right there. And then I'll see if I can get through there. They're not the best submarines around, but they're the best that I can build currently. Our manufacturing capabilities. All right, they're selling us timber. I will accept that. It's a long way to have to haul timber, though. All the way from Uruguay. I guess I'd just go right across the ocean there, the Pacific. Big old tanker. Not a tanker, but a cargo ship. All right, everything looks good. I think we want to push across first and secure this. I'm going to wait till before I stir up this hornet's nest, I want to wait till I can get these shangs over there. All right, that's far enough, buddy. Go ahead and come over here. All right, we're going to try to go to right here. We'll pass close enough to this island to see. Let's see what the view distance of these guys are. It's 50, so we won't be able to see much, but we'll see what we can see if there's anything there. Because you got to assume as they're moving through here, they're raising a periscope from time to time, looking around, using other sensors. And I did hear the email come in. Let's see what we got. And I do always pause, not always, but generally I pause this when I'm looking at email, because if you try to click on this and a new email comes in, you're gonna get rid of something and you never had a chance to look at it. So this is rubber and this is consumer goods. So I can't tell how many times I've tried to click on something right here, like right now, and new email pops in and you wind up clearing it or deleting it and you don't get to see it. So I always pause. I won't say always again. I try to pause when I'm actually looking at the email. All right, you guys here yet? You're the last one to come up. So let's go ahead and move this entire group to right here. We want to at least push it back beyond the river. Go ahead and inch up a little bit if you can. There you go. All right, we're going to take out all of this stuff at one time. You come over here. Right now they're concentrating everything here, but if we can get their attention here, then we'll push down in one rapid thrust. Now what is he shooting? Oh, it's you out again. Can you go back? Don't, this time just reserve, don't repair. Because you can't get out of there. There's just no way. All right, now let's come through here. Remember there was some Korean subs over here earlier. We'll see if we can make it through. In fact, I'm just going to come right through here because I got to test, got to find out how good these shangs are. I don't know. I have no experience with them. I couldn't tell you the last time I played China before starting this game. I can tell you if they were U.S. subs. I'm very familiar with them. All of the, are you familiar with the U.S. land units, the aircraft, the naval units, you name it. But China, not so much. We're going to pause about right. What is your range, by the way? So if only 15 against subs. This submarine has got to be right around in this area here, I'm thinking. So we're going to go to there. And then we're going to switch over to cautious. Speed cautious. That way they make the least amount of noise. The screws are turning the slowest, just enough to make headway. And I want you to move in here. And we're going to see if we can find that sub. If I had... Let me look. Let me look and see if I have any recon aircraft. If I get off of that. There we go. Troop. Patrol. Can you see subs? Careless? I don't think a careless can see. No, you can't see subs. That's a Russian. I didn't know about it. You cannot see subs. What about you? The Yunshu? I don't know how that's pronounced. Nope, you cannot see subs. The Hangzija? I don't know. You cannot see subs. I'm pretty sure this cannot, because this is just the civilian aircraft what's the word I'm looking for? Converted. All right, that's it. They can't do it. Thunder Dragon. Nope. Yeah, I don't think we have anything that can... The thing that would be able to do it would be helicopters under patrol. But there's nothing that these guys have that can do it. What about in the future? No. What about regular helicopters? Which I usually ignore. Nope. Nope. Negatory. Nope. ASW, that's one. That's ASW is Anti-Submarine Warfare. But his range is... You know what? We have one of them. This is 7 and 50. We don't have any of them, though. But we got one of these guys. This is a High Tune ASW. Let's see if we can find out where he's at. Right there. Where you at? Okay. Take you out and have you go all the way up here for now. Right there to that airfield. All right, BVR air defense missiles. This is good because this brings us in line to make better aircraft. We still don't have anything here new. So let's look at what's up here. I think I'm going to go for this advanced armor designs. Even though I don't like tanks. I just don't really think they have a place in modern combat in 90% of the situations that we'll find ourselves in because the air power is just so dominating. But it will lead to this weapons industry advances. So let's go ahead and get it. We'll toss it in there. Well, you know, you can look at recent events and see that just cheap drones are taking out tanks left and right. So it's, again, I don't put a lot of stock in tanks. I think they had their time, they had their usefulness. It's the reason nobody uses battleships anymore. True battleships like from World War II. Airplanes made them obsolete. All right, this guy made it to here. I'm going to put him on 9. Shortcut number 9, so I can easily find him again. Oh, I saw him right there. Come here, buddy. All right, we're going to slow this right down to normal. And we're going to have him come down here. Make sure he's full on fuel and supplies. And come over here and see if we can see that sub. There he is. Okay, now while there's 2 of them. 3 of them, maybe. All right, you stop moving. Yeah, there is 3 of them. Stop moving right there. Oh, we got one. We got to get this. We got to get this aircraft involved again. Come on, buddy. 100%. All right, come back here. Come back here. Come on. Take him out. There's that 3rd sub is taking our guy out though. I've got to get eyes on. If I can get eyes on with this helo, the subs can get the information relayed from him and see where he's at. So let's come down here. Where's he at? I don't know where he's at, but they saw that guy coming in. So let's go back to the airfield. And we're going to bring the the Shangs down here. You're good. I really appreciate that, buddy. We needed that. That was a good win. Righteous. Okay. I don't want this guy to exist. That Black Panther. All right, I want you to go in and repair, since you are currently the best the best subs we have. All right, I think we're good over here. These guys are not quite making it, though, so hurry up, come across. All right, you go ahead and go here, and you go ahead and go here. And then we'll move down right here. And then you guys move in right there. So we hit them from 3 sides. I want this seep here for supply reasons. There you go. Then I want you to move in here when they're clear and take over that area. Boots on the ground. All right. Let me pause before the day goes over because we want the day to flip over after I've already had this set to repair. There we go. You're at 100, so let's move up here. And then move up here. And once they engage you, I will come across here because he'll be susceptible, highly susceptible once he's trying to ford this river. But as long as they're concentrating on this guy, he's good to go. All right, I want you to go back to the airfield, and I want you to come replace him. We'll move forward out of the town so that the combat is not occurring where we're trying to get that to repair. You keep going, buddy. You go to that airfield. Now we need to find another... I think we'll just take one from down here. We'll take this... no, we don't want that. I'll take this Liu Yang. Go there, buddy. And you guys go there. All right, that all looks good. All right, I think we're ready to get situated for the final big push. You go there, and you go repair. We want to, I want to push probably down to at least right here so that we get this big military base and this big naval base, and we want to take these space assets. Japan has declared war on Myanmar. Japan's getting feisty. I don't want them to declare war on me yet. All right, looks like there's not any subs there, no enemy subs. And the nearest place you can repair, it might be Beijing. No, it's right here. That's a long way to run this. So just set down that airfield. You will recover nicely on the airfield. You know what? Let's just send you to repair it. Let's see where you go. Oh, right there. I didn't even see that because of the aircraft. All right, so this is 777. 777 is a good aircraft, by the way. It had its day. All right, there's the Russians again, incurring into our territory. Right there. We'll keep that ASW helicopter there. Actually, I'll have him go into reserve because we don't need him sitting out actively, so he can reserve at this air base right here. I guess that's Preston. And I don't want these at all. I don't want any new hydropower plants. I don't want the ones I got, but we're not ready to get rid of them yet. All right, let's go ahead and have these subs move up here. And this one ship move there. I'm very cautious, I know. That's just the way I play games. Particularly war games. I don't like taking unnecessary risks. Because as I've said before, when I'm not playing war games, when I've been playing the other games, I essentially assume the role of the character. In this case, the commander. And it would be bad of me just to needlessly throw away the lives of my men and women. We're going to get some more air defense here. Oh, wow, it's 6 p.m. All right, I need to go down and take some medication. I'll be back in a moment. All right. "40 minutes left. Let's go ahead and take this before he gets in there. Then you guys can come down here. You just push right into this. And we're going to delete. I don't want any of this because we've got our own deeper in the desert, away from prying eyes, the way it should be. So these two K2 Black Panthers are doing a number between them and the garrison here. They're tearing these guys up. That's okay. We'll just have him come in here. Get him in a classic pincer movement there. All right, now their garrison is gone. There's nothing to protect them anymore. And you guys come down here and cut them off. They're moving on this road. They can move much faster than I can, so we're not going to catch him, I don't think. Oh, we did catch him. He's kaput. Okay, you come in here. You still got 96% supply left. And then you go ahead and take this town. Let's move the flankers down here. Now they're not needed any longer. All right, you come down here. He's going to try to get around behind us. Let's hit him if we can. Yep, we can. In fact, I want to take the flankers off of ground attack. Do not attack units on the ground. You can do ships and aircraft, but not ground units. So let's go back here. We got rid of him. All right, we now own this town. There's nothing in it. And this town, there's nothing in it. We'll just wait for supply, and we'll send these guys up to repair. I don't know why you just don't go down the road. This is one of the things that bugs me about the game. I like the game, but why they're sitting on a road? Why would they go across these mountains to get here when they're sitting on a road and they're just 3 hexes away right there? I don't understand it sometimes. All right, I can get rid of that. I did. No, you go here. You go here. Right there's a barracks right there. Go into it and repair, you clown. Jeez Louise. And I've been playing SR games since 2008. All right, let's see what we got over here. Yep, consumer goods. We will give it to you. Well, we'll sell it to you. And we got some more ground units. I'm going to leave them where they're at. We got enough here now to do what I want to do. We'll go ahead and pull you guys down. We'll park you right there for now. We're just waiting for supply. If you run too quickly, your units run out of supply, and you see a bunch of posts on the forum. Well, my unit's sitting with no supply, blah, blah, blah. It's logistics, my friends, logistics. Napoleon said it back a long time ago. The army runs or marches on its stomach, something to that effect, right? Well, that just means you got to supply them with what they need. In this case, it's fuel and ammo. If you move too fast and your supply chain can't keep up with you, you're just going to be sitting around doing nothing. And you don't want that. I want you to go back and repair. And then you come down here, and you come down here and back him up. And you come, well, you stay where you are. This guy's going to have to withdraw. You come back here. And you come up here. All right, now we've got that. Again, I'm pausing it because I don't want the data click over when these not be ready to be repaired. Okay. You guys go into repair. And you get up there. Let's garrison this city. All right, where are the Badgers? We got somebody lobbing artillery at us, so we're going to go say hello to them. All right, we solved that problem. Air power can solve just about every problem there is. I would say 97% of all problems can be solved by the appropriate amount of air power applied to the correct location. Now, granted, you can't always get to that location, but if you can, it will do the job. All right, this is a full stack, so you come down here. You need to go repair, so you go up here and repair. Consumer goods, consumer goods. I don't know where you think you're going, but it's not going to work the way you want it to. Now that we have enough forces here, we'll just move in here. This is going to be an issue here, but we'll make it work. All right, you move into here, and you move into here. And you push all the way through. That way we've got 2 stacks here trying to get through. I want you guys to move in here. Now I need... Well, we lost our surface combatant that was here. And we don't have any more. Oh, you need to withdraw. Can you pull back over here? There you go. Now go up here and repair. And we do have a barracks right here that we'll be able to use. As soon as these guys move into there. There we go. All right, let's get garrisoned. So we got 2 towns directly in front of this military base, blocking it, so that's good. And we'll get you repairing. I do not want those land productions. I don't like to build anything useful on the coast because that's just an invitation to disaster. These are the exception. They're very useful, but they need to be on the coast. I've got to push another surface ship through here. I don't want to push the looters. Let's see where this is at. France declared war on Antigua. That makes no sense. That's in the Caribbean. All right, we just sunk something. You heard it sinking. Looks like something shot this Shang, and then he fired back, or the rest of these Shangs fired. And either way, we sunk that, what I have to assume was a South Korean sub. All right, anyway, back here. What else is left in here that I did not deploy? All right, we're going to take this patrol craft, a small patrol craft instead of a big guy. This OSA. Are these the ones that were fitted with silkworm missiles in the 80s and looked like they posed a serious threat to everyone? I don't recall exactly. I want to say it was this OSA, but I'm not sure. Though they can carry missiles. All right, let's move this back up to fast. We're just recovering, making sure supply covers this area before we move forward any further. And then we want you. That barracks almost done. We'll wait just a moment because we want this people to go in here and recover in this barracks. All right, you come down here and take this guy out. We're not going to let him sit there and lob that artillery at us. That's a mortar unit, by the way. All right, you come over here. Go through here as quickly as you can, buddy. Your whole thing is speed, so we want you to go as fast as you can. Get through there. Come over here. I know you don't have a lot of range, and you might run out of fuel. You're already at 60% fuel, so you need to come right up here. He's going to run out of fuel. He's already at 50. We're going to have to slow him down to cautious. Yeah, he's not going to make it. All right, well, we tried. They just don't have very good range. Hey, Belgium. Yep. Now let's go here and look and see what else is in here. Scroll all the way to the bottom, please, by pressing Shift. All right, this troop ship, I don't want it. It's only 600 capacity. This one's 4,000, 275. All right, where's that 275 at? Deploy. All right, that was a helicopter shot down. And that's what I assume is the Soviets incurring again in our airspace. All right, Kyrgyzstan. Yep, we'll sell to you. All right, this barracks is completed. Now we can make the Hong H-8. That looked like that was a strategic bomber. It is. It's from 2006, and this is from 1969. 90 and 95. Now we can do 195 and 165. So we want to... You know, I don't even wait the 46 days for them. I don't even want to wait. We'll let it go one more day to clear, and then we'll throw all of these in. I only need 7. And then we're going to actually get rid of this so that I don't accidentally make it, nor the Badgers. This version of the Badger, the A. And let's jump. Let's get one of those out of there, and then let's see if it grabs our attention. All right, are you out, and are you supplied? You are full of supply. All right, we're going to try to get you over
We need
here.
reinforcements.
Do we really? We don't really, but I understand what you mean. This guys can hold off that tank, no problems. Okay, Moldova. We'll give everything to you guys. We're all about making money for certain people. Okay, let's see what we got here. We can move you down to there and have you join. And then we'll move you over to here. You're coming here. You're coming there. You're going to take this town. You're coming all the way through here. You're going to engage this, and then you're going to come across and take it. And I have half a mind to build an airfield on this air base, or on this military base. In fact, I'm going to build an air base. Right there. In the meantime, you go back here. All right, let's garrison that town. And let's clean this up. How are you doing? You're slow, but you're making it so far. We'll see. Hopefully the Japanese are not sharing intelligence with the South Koreans, because they're sitting right there and they can see everything I'm doing. And you notice that icon that looks like a missile? That means this guy's carrying missiles. See that icon right there? Missiles loaded. He is loaded with missiles. So at the very beginning of hostility, he can launch on all of these guys he's already mapped out. All right, you come over here. We're going to try and get him right here, and he can refuel this OSA. All right, we began building that air base. That's fine. All right, we've got... What have we got here? Oh, we've got you guys. I want you to go there. And you do not need to repair. Oh, you guys need to repair. So you go there and repair. All right, now you come up here and park here. And you stop for a minute. Let's don't try to move anymore. Let's wait and let your fuel truck catch up with you. Your fuel ship. Coal, yeah. Now you'll be able to see here right now he's got 0 of 60 fuel. As soon as this guy rolls into the same... Okay, now he's got 60 of 60. They've transferred fuel, and he's good to go again. So we want you to come over here. And we want you to come over here. The Japanese are still shadowing us. Hopefully they're not relaying that information to the South Koreans. Are they allied? No. Nope. It's so unusual to see these not allied with the USA in the year 2021. Who are you allied with? Oh, you've had a change. Yeah, this is NATO. You still got NATO. Okay, just nobody in the Pacific? No, there's nobody in the Pacific they're allied with at all. Not even Australia, right? I didn't even see Australia there. All right. That tells us that there was a new alliance formed between Rwanda and Comoros. That's okay with me. All right, Oso, you're going to make it. You're down to 87% fuel. I think you'll make it. We're going to get rid of this. We don't need it. We don't want it. We're going to get this guy. Really, it doesn't matter where he goes now. I just want him. You know what? I want you to reserve. Where will you go? No, I don't want you to go there. That's too close to the fighting. So it does matter, actually. All right, you go there. And then you and you. Yeah, they're there and gone before I can get there. All right, now you should be closer to this, so let's reserve there. There you go. And you guys, this airfield is a long way off. The next nearest airfield is still going to be here, so we'll go back here. And I want you to run over here and recover. And then you come down here all the way. You come down all the way over here. You engage here. Up. You already got it. All right. We're going to get rid of this hydroelectric. Not interested in hydroelectric in the slightest. Now I can get rid of the interior. And I believe we're ready to take this town here of Kusang. going to hit it from 4 sides. And then we'll just push right in. Garrison the town. Wait for supply a little bit and then continue. Supply is good along this front, so we're going to move you to go repair. You should repair right here. Very good. All right, now that we've got enough forces and we're more or less in a line here, we're going to swap it up a little bit. We're going to turn back on map grid. How many is here? 6. We just need 1. And there are 5 here, so we'll take these 2 and put you there. This guy is recovered. And we'll have you come here. Now we can start doing the same thing on this side. I'd say we got them fairly contained at this stage. All right, India. Yep, I will sell you military goods. Let's see what he's going to do. All right, you come in there. Now, you're repaired. So you go right into there. That should be all stacks of 7. You do have a little repair to do, but that's okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to make sure they stay on formation move, and we're going to move down 1 hex. We'll capture this town. Oh, wrong button. Supply is still pretty good. We're just going to wait a moment. Then we're going to grab these land units, and I'm going to click on land. So I don't have the aircraft, and we're going to move down to here in a cohesive line. We'll take this airfield, and then we're going to move down here with these guys. And come on in. Come on in. All right, come on down, come on down. All right, very good. Now we've got a solid front. We're going to wait for supply to catch up to us a little bit, and in the meantime, we're going to have our units that need to recover to go recover. And then we'll just bring in replacements for them. Those are the only ones that look like they need to actually recover. We're going to make sure this airfield is repairing. I do not want that composite ore. All right, we're going to push on this big military base right here. So we're going to select all these guys this time. And we're going to go to... I'd like to go to there, but we don't want them to be out of sequence like that. So we'll just move down to here. And then I'm going to get rid of this because I don't want it. We'll wait a moment while supply is filling in the gap there. We need to rearm and refuel. That's what that is. Bahrain. Cool, yeah. Everybody's wanting to trade now. These days, I should say. All right, I'm going to push these subs down to right here. And I want you to follow so that we can reclaim that C area. Then this guy is pushing out supply, so he'll fill this up shortly. And then when we take this, it'll be much easier to move our ship in there. Okay, we've got you. Go repair, please. And then we'll just move you in to fill that slot. All right, then we'll take you guys and move you down to here. All right, this guy's got to go, which means the Badgers are going to make a run. All right, there we go. Go back home and rearm and refuel Badgers. You need to go repair. I'm going to go up here and grab these guys. I'm going to bring them down here. They won't get here in time, but there'll be more fighting to be done down here as we press into South Korea. All right, so that essentially was their aircraft leaving because we're getting too close. Oh, that's Japanese. All right, you go repair, and let's bring you in to replace. Not all of you, just that one. Sorry. You go repair, and then you come down and replace. All right, so this airfield is repaired, so it's pumping out supply. So we'll wait just a moment. They're coming in here. This is 7, so you come down here. You're good. All right, we're going to take this group and move them to here. We'll capture this big military base and airfield here. Come on down. Everything looks good. All right, let's make sure that we garrison this and set it up to repair. We do not, again, I don't want aircraft production here. I will leave the Intelligence Academy. I will leave missile production because I don't particularly care if we lose it. Okay, in fact, we do have some more missile capacity because there was some up here that I had to repair, and I can see that it's repaired now. So we're going to go again. Let's look at the SADSAC. 185 at 150, and what I'm building is the Sandbox, which is 410 at 600. So I'm definitely going to just get rid of the SADSAC. I'm going to get rid of this. Even though technically this is a better missile, it only has a travel range of 110 kilometers, and that's entirely too close for me. But see, it has a ground defense and air defense of 125, whereas this one only has 90 and 175. So this is not as important because you're not firing them across the land, but that also counts as ships firing at it. But either way, I prefer the range. This is 110 range. This is 600 range. So I want my aircraft to be back in safety. They can fire 600 kilometers away, and that missile will still make it to the target. That's my thinking on that. I know no one asked, but there you go. It's not always about raw numbers. You got to take everything into consideration. Also, I want you to go repair. And then I want my Badgers to make another run down here. There you go. They'll automatically go back home. I don't have to do anything. They're out of fuel. And I want you guys to repair. And we've got 4 up here. Georgia Republic. I'm from Georgia, but not that Georgia. That's the Georgia right here. If I can, let me just go closer. Georgia Republic is right there. I know Americans get the United States of American people get a bad rap for not knowing geography, but I assure you, I'm pretty good with geography. Okay, let's look and see what they want. Military goods. They want to sell us military goods. Are we short military goods? I'm going to take it nonetheless. But let's see. I don't think we are. We're not. We're still doing good. By the way, this little blue triangle icon means that there is a large demand for that product on the market, and you have an opportunity to sell this product. See, it says opportunity there in the top. That means you can sell this and make a lot of money. Now, I could get involved down here with the selling and so forth and so on, but so far the minister's doing a good job. It's the only minister I let do his thing. Hold on, I got to sneeze. Oh, wow. Okay. It's the only minister I let do his thing because that's fine. As long as he's doing buying and selling. It's too much for one human to do, as well as all this other stuff. All right, so come down here.
We need reinforcements.
Nah, we don't. We don't. We really don't. I appreciate the warning, but we don't. All right, let's go ahead and take this. Get it garrisoned and start the repair work. All right, we're getting to the point where we can just have one solid push. Let's go ahead and take this town and this, because we got a anti-aircraft site here. For now, I'm going to accept it, but eventually I will get rid of it because I don't want it. I don't really rely on static defenses for the most part. I think that is folly to do so. Pyongyang, which is the capital of North Korea, and I don't want any of this stuff, so we'll get rid of it. Okay, so we've cleared that out, and we'll have this guy go and repair. See, they're getting experience, and notice the silver stars. They're getting experience. They've got at least 10 kills, I think it is. And then they will go to bronze. It's either bronze or gold, depending on how you look at it. I think it's probably bronze, but when they get even more kills, they'll go to bronze, and they get a little better. Let's look at this guy here. To see his morale, experience, and efficiency. Get a good look at that. Now, look at this guy. Do you see the difference? His morale is all the way maxed, and his experience has one bar with a silver star. And his efficiency is even better. So it does make a difference to your overall troops, in addition to the salaries and maintenance and training. We're just going to wait for a moment while supply fills in here. And then we're going to make another push. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take this. And you are 6, so we're going to pull one guy from here to come down here. We're going to send you for repairs. And we're going to send you for repairs. And we'll take you, put you in there. And we'll take you and put you in there. All right, Moldova again. And this needs one. So we'll grab you and put you in there. Now, I want you guys to come down here, and I want you guys to come down here, and I want you guys to come down here. All right, looking good, looking good, looking good. Now, I may need, I've got a bunch of parachute troops right here. And there's an air base right there, so let's move you all to right here, because I may need them for taking this island right here. All right, where are our Badgers need repair? All right, you go into repair. You come down here, and you come down here, and then you come down here. Make sure there's no subs, and this guy pushes through, clearing the sea spaces, claiming them for ourselves, so that we can get the supply pushing through here. And I want you, these naval flankers, where is there an airfield? Right there. Naval flankers come down here. And whatever these Hangzhou are, because we're going to take these guys out since my Badgers are in repair. All right, get rid of you. You go back, refuel before he gets, come on, come on, come on. All right, let's go do it again. All right, He's out of the way. No longer a problem. You've got this guy repaired, so we're going to come here. This should be 7 across the board. You notice it's now a straight line. So we're going to push down the peninsula. But we're going to modify it slightly. I need you to come up here because I need more room. Yeah, I need you to come up here because I still need more room. Because of the angle here. All right, there we go. Now let's turn them on formation move. And let's go right there. We're going to get this big air base here also. I will pause while I look at this offer from Moldova. All right, let's get this air base pumping out supplies. I don't want that. And I don't want that. Now, let's look at this. I don't want any of these land production fabs. So it's easier, there's 4 of them, so it's easier just to click that to scrap everything and then just go back and save the 2 that I want, which is the airfield and the barracks. Then I'll go ahead and put this on. All right. I do want the airfield and the barracks, but that's all. You go ahead and come all the way down here. And you come here. All right, we got our aircraft down, or anti-air down here, and I told you there would be more battles where we'd need them, so we're going to move them down. And then we're going to move you guys down. I really need another fuel cell technology. Very good, very good. All right, there's 2. Again, I must have missed one. Now, I could do this, but piston engines you don't want. I mean, I don't want it at this stage of the game. Let's look down here. Electrical demand. It's really not something I have to worry about yet because once we built those. All right, facility construction materials minus 5% and finished goods or demand minus 5%. Let's go ahead and do that. It's that what I'm looking at here is the public opinion is supportive. That means it'll make the people like my government a little more, even though I am a communist government. It doesn't really matter what the people think because we'll just kill them all if they don't like it. That's just communism for you. But I will throw this in there, advanced recycling, because I think that's good overall for what I have in plan. Now let's look at medical, and I have a good mind to go with this MRI because that'll give us this, which then gives us the MRI improvements, which opens up the next era. This takes 680 days, though, and right now we still need some warfare technology is what I'm trying to say, warfare technology. I'm just going to look at the rest of the stuff available, particularly the transportation technology. All right, I'm going to go with fuel cells for vehicles because that'll help open up different vehicle types in the future. Again, China's advantage is its size and the amount of desert it has to keep people at bay. You can afford to, you saw in the beginning, I sacrificed land in order to marshal my forces where I needed them to. Because it being so large, you can afford to do that. Not every country can afford to do that. Russia is the prime example. Russia being the largest country in the world. They can certainly, and they proved that in World War II, where they moved everything, what was it, east of the Urals or some such? All their production and everything so that Germany couldn't get to it. All right. We've got, this is all looking good. This has, all right, the barracks is repaired. Just 5 days till the air base repairs, and then we'll be able to bring in some aircraft. By the way, if my, nope, they're still repairing. How far away? 95 days. We've still got a long way to go. And we have 2 more, which is this one and this one. So let's go ahead and add a surface upgraded rail system. We do want that, but while I'm here, let me add 2 more surface combatants. I want it to be these 2. And then let's go back and look at this. Ah! Do you see what I saw? We now have 21 research centers. I can just put I can go hog wild. Now, the thing is, it's going to be very expensive. Very, very expensive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can go up to 21. All right. We want naval fuel cells, artillery improvements, MLRS missiles. That's a multiple launch rocket system. That's that one I showed you earlier that goes 200 kilometers. We'll get that up. I think we can get that up to 300 or something kilometers. I do want Metal Storm because that leads to Metal Storm weapons pods, which leads to these, which is no good, but I do like the Storm Tracker. And then Advanced Metal Storms and brings you to this thing. It may or may not be a good thing. It depends on what you want to do with it. It's a recon unit, but I do prefer all my recon units are amphibious, and you can see this is amphibious. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go with, I know I talked about this earlier, how it goes to next generation radar and then early sights and doesn't lead to anything else. But that next generation radar, this one right here, if you'll notice, it's required for some other things, like improved radars 3, so forth and so on, which is this one here, leads to this. But the big thing is your spotting values go up 10. So if you can spot the enemy better, so I think I will throw that in there because we're going to need that once we get those advanced aircraft. All right, I think there's enough supply through here and everything is repaired enough with the exception of that air base. Let's grab everybody here and then let's get rid of the air-to-air. So we want to, oh, that's subs. Let's get remove the highlighted types and then remove highlighted classes. And then for here, remove highlighted classes. That just leaves the infantry, the mechanized infantry. All right, this is elite forces. So we'll come down here, which will allow us to get this next air base and still maintain a cohesive front line. And let's throw some more stuff in here. Let's look at what's available now. I'm going to go ahead and make the Marines because they are amphibious and they'll fit in helicopters and so forth and so on. I don't want that mortar because it's too... What can I build now for a supply vehicle? Nothing? All right, I'm going to throw this in because it has a capability of 180. So we'll throw that in, and it's parachutable. Let's look at planes. There's still nothing good for planes. This is a Russian plane. This is Russian Yakolev. What about... All right, we got a... Nope. Capital ships. All right, this is the first true capital ship that I can build. Oh, it's 2 hours. All right, I'm going to throw this bad boy in there for now. And then I'll finish this up in the next video. Adios for now.